I want to introduce someone who I wouldn't be here without. Besides Sheila, my wife, there is one person, very, count on your hand how many people are there when the going gets tough, but he's in every camera shot, he's on every news report, he's on every television broadcast. Mr. Charles King, who defended me for 2 years. Can we give a standing ovation for him, please? Another gentleman who was in the news with me, Mr. Kelly, is in a lot of photographs. Mr. Kelly, could you come forward? I want to say something about you. All right. A selfless man who has devoted his life to the conservative movement. We're talking about 40 years of devotion to the conservative movement. Art has worked for 20 years with the Texas legislature for a senior conservative, sponsoring conservative legislation for 20 years, 20. And then he came here and helped Richard Victories, who is a conservative leader, a senior conservative leader, someone who is no pale pastels, for how many years was that? 10? 10 years. And then he came forward and stood with me and Charles, probably over a 10-month period, and made it possible for America to see unity from Sterling. So let's hear it from Mr. Kelly. This gentleman stood the test, stood in the limelight, took a lot of heat. My wife and I go through a lot on this political stuff. You know, Sheila and I go through a lot. And Sheila and I stood in front of the Republican committee that night when there was a vote, and we had a vote of 68 to support me and to stand with me as you are standing with me today. And the no votes were 34. But that resolution was introduced by Jim Briggs. Jim, could you come forward for a moment? Jim, thank you. Thank you. Jim introduced that resolution, and you know there's a lot of criticism, but the committee as a body decided that they would stand with me, as you stand with me today, as Sterling has stood with me 4 times. Jim made it possible, along with the main speaker that I'll be introducing in a minute, introducing that resolution. Mr. Black was part of that. I don't want to take any credit away from him. We'll hear from him in a minute. But Mr. Briggs introduced that resolution, so thank you, Mr. Briggs. Thank you, Jim. I wanted to say thank you for being here. What have I done in 15 years? I've collected a great group of people who are backing me. You've noticed we use internet, we use television, we've been on radio, of course. Some of us are celebrities with fundraising, some of us are celebrities with organizing, some of us take care of traffic. That was our last intro that I gave. Some of us are lawyers who know the law. Some of us are just plain troublemakers who run for public office over and over again or in the future. Some of us take the stand and go to the meetings and follow up. Some of us do the precinct organizing. Some of us we've touched every life here. We even have an icon of Sterling, KC, the Ruritarian Clown. So I'm very honored that you would all be here. I want to say that I have been representing you forcefully. This past Wednesday, I took a stand. This past Wednesday, the board voted 6 yes, 1 abstention in taking an action that the Democratic Party was very upset about. And the Democratic Party chairman came in and said that we were to blame, that you all are to blame for the undocumented illegal alien children coming into this country, and that the 210 undocumented alien children that are here courtesy of the Obama administration, is your fault. We got 6 supervisors who said they did not agree with that and voted with me to ask the county to find out how much money this is going to cost us. How much money is there to be involved, and what can we do to put a cap on it somewhere in terms of federal policy? I mean, finding out whether it's going to cost $3 million or $5 million or $10 million, worrying about the health implications, worrying about the cost for schools. Well, you're not supposed to worry about any of that, but you have my assurance that if I'm reelected in 2015, I will continue to raise these issues of accountability, whether it's the President of the United States that smashes you in the face and says, look the other way, I will stand up to him if I have to, and I will stand up to whoever I need to get what Sterling needs. The victories I've had, I give credit to God, I give credit to Sheila, but I wanted to say here and now, Senator Black, without you there'd be no current victories. And the future of Sterling, you have saved. You have made possible for Sterling to have me as their supervisor from the beginning, through the hard times, and through the great times that are coming. Senator Black.
Thank you very much, Eugene. I'm very pleased to be here and very pleased with the turnout. Wonderful people. So Eugene has held the fabric of Sterling together through all of the pressures that have affected us. He's kept the moral standards high, and most recently, he got approval for a new sheriff's station. We now have a sheriff's station here so that we have community patrolling, and he's also enforced some of the rules on overcrowding that attract bad elements into places where people are lined up like cordwood in homes. And by doing that, he has maintained a low crime rate in Sterling, which I don't think anybody else could have done. I think this is the man who is responsible for the low crime rate in Sterling, and I thank you for that, Eugene. I will tell you that one of the most important things in the upcoming elections for 2015, one of the things that will most affect the way that Loudoun County looks after this election is going to be this supervisor election, and it is so crucial that we re-elect Eugene Delgaudio. God bless you. I'll be with you all the way, Eugene. Win us another victory.